Christian also talked about in his introduction, that refueling companies, so the into-plane agents, also can have can utilize massive improvements from implementing fully digitalized fueling solutions. I would like to invite Lara Weiss from AFS on stage. I hope your connection is working and you are ready to present, even though it is a little bit earlier than you expected, but I can see you already.
So this is working?
This is working perfectly. So thanks for jumping in on such short notice.
That's okay. Thank you for having us. Actually, my colleague who's the expert on this topic and wanted to present had some technical issues as well. So I hope I can walk everyone through our short presentation the way that he could. So I seem to have problems sharing my presentation. So could you do that for me?
Yes, of course I can. Oh, wait. Yeah, I will try to do that. Share media. So
perfect.
Can you see it? Can you click through it on your own?
Yes, I can. Perfect.
Okay, so then I will simply leave the stage to you. Yeah, looking forward to your insights on how digital fueling can improve the life of AFS.
Very good. Thank you for that. So maybe just a very, very short introduction to begin with, so that everyone knows why we are presenting today. So we are AFS, an independent operator in tank, farm, hydrant, and into-plane management, Germany-based company founded in 1986 and basically operating in all major airports in Germany and a few airports in Austria and recently Norway. Serving all major oil companies and airlines, basically. So yeah, just a very brief overview. So let's jump right in. We thought that to begin with, we show you 2 slides on how it actually works for us. So firstly, we start off with a view on the dispatch side or shift leader side. So this is what an example of the dispatch view would look like. On the left-hand side, you can see a couple of information that are important to the dispatch side. So for example, that was mentioned earlier, the no fuel indication in gray, or minimum fuels in yellow. I'll come to that later, why that's important. And also block fuel numbers already in green. So all the information that a dispatcher would need. And on the right-hand side, you can see a view of the staff. And for example, 3rd row from above, you can see that fueling was completed, final fuel number is there. And then below that, there's a few examples of, for example, a certain fueler still fueling, so still in the process, respectively on the way there. And in red, fueling process has been, oh, is that still there? I think I lost the presentation. No, there it is. Refueling completed, but fuel number is still not there. So the different steps of the process you can see here, and this basically gives the dispatcher the whole entire view for making his decision on what staff goes to which aircraft next. So coming on the next slide to the view in our trucks. So on the left-hand side, you can see the tablet. So that is basically all that is needed for us, a tablet and an internet connection. This is where it's located in this example in the truck. And in the middle picture, it shows you the dispatch view on the tablet of the truck driver. So he can either wait for the dispatcher to assign him to a next flight, but he's also able to choose the next flight by himself that fits to where he is at the moment, or the remaining fuel in his truck. So there's different opportunities there, and he has all the information needed for that as well, like minimum fuel indication or a no fuel, for example. On the right-hand side, then the picture where the fueler has chosen the flight and has the actual fuel information. and new and updated information, for example, change from minimum to block fuel, are transmitted and shown on the screen without any time delay. So there's real-time data, so to say, for them to see at all times. To kind of wrap that up in a process a little bit, I'm going to walk you through the e-fueling process and highlight the process optimization opportunities here compared to traditional ways for the into-plane side. This a couple of these things Christian already mentioned in his speech. So very important for us, and that's been already mentioned by our pilot colleagues as well, is that there's a no fuel that can be sent either on approach or anywhere between approach and then on block. So that's very important for us because that means we have no unnecessary driving ways and can take a certain flight out of our plan for the next hour or so already. So that's very important. And then you can see that the aircraft arrives and minimum fuel is transmitted to us very early. So the moment that our truck arrives and passengers have disembarked, we can immediately start fueling. And during the fuel process, final block fuel is received electronically as well, and we can just finish fueling until we reach the required volume. So as said earlier, there's no verbally ordered fuel, no communication necessary, no one needs to go up and down the stairs to exchange that information, but it's just transmitted electronically to our tablet in the truck. And then as soon as that's done, the e-ticket, or whatever the name is, as Christian said, is sent up to the cockpit and acknowledged, and the truck can leave. So that gives us time saving and process optimization opportunities here, and we are finished earlier. So that's time savings basically for both sides. For us, it's very beneficial, but also we heard this before, when an aircraft, for example, comes in late, we have the possibility to catch up some time there, or also in the morning peaks. I get later into this a bit more. That's very beneficial for us. Obviously, that's a very standardized picture now, and many variables determine such process. But in any case, we can say that there are significant process optimization potentials here that come with e-fueling for the into-plane company. I think in terms of the slides that I wanted to mention, that's it for now. I think, Robin, you had some questions. Is that correct?
Back again. There we go. Thank you very, very much, Lara. And I can assure you that you did an amazing job of filling for your colleague there.
Thank you.
After talking about all that, and the benefits you're able to capture with the process optimization you just talked about. Let's go back a little one step further and into the back office basically. And how does it improve your capability to plan and coordinate everything smoothly?
So for our shift leaders, this definitely makes it easier in terms of planning and coordination. So first of all, dispatch, as I said, is easier and faster. The no fuel indication that can come very early, is very beneficial for us. We don't have the unnecessary driving ways. Certain fueler is not assigned to a flight that then at the end doesn't need any fuel. So that's one major advantage. And also it makes it easier because we have all the information there in a very timely fashion. So you have it all electronically. As was mentioned earlier, there's you don't have to pick up the telephone all the time. So the whole process is just easier for the dispatcher or the shift leader. And due to the less waiting times, we can start immediately. For example, that helps in planning these very, very busy morning shifts, as I said. So we can soften the peaks out a little bit in the mornings, and due to the better planning and coordination, and better utilize our staff and vehicles as well. So we see that we get more operations per vehicle per hour due to the e-fueling there. And it's not only a time-saving issue, but then, if you don't have to drive unnecessarily somewhere, or you can optimize driving ways, that obviously that is a cost saving as well, because there's less driving, less diesel consumption, for example. And very, very important also is a matter of security and safety as well. You don't, the optimized planning gives you security benefits as well, or safety benefits. For example, the staff is around the truck all the time instead of needing to leave the truck. For example, go up the cockpit or wait for a ramp agent. So we keep them around the truck at all times.
So for you, basically, it's a win-win-win situation. So
it makes life easier, yes.
Makes life easier, yeah. And how's the feedback from your drivers and everybody who actually has to work with the system day in and day out?
So yeah, absolutely, that's very positive as well. So it's not only the planning and coordination side, but it makes life easy on the apron as well. So no fuel, I mentioned this 2 times now already, that makes it easier. But then also starting the process immediately, starting without crew present as well. So we get the information electronically. And as mentioned earlier by one of the cockpit colleagues, obviously there's always room for human error. So when our staff has the number there, it's black and white on the tablet, is less room for mistakes. So fuel number comes in, he can see it. Our staff needs to concentrate on very, very different and many things at the same time around the aircraft. Is very busy, so it's good to have that there. If there's any question, then he can go back to the truck, see the number again, and that makes it a lot easier for them as well. And they wear ear protection, so it's easier than screaming the fuel number across the apron. That makes it a lot easier. And then also, as Christian said already, there's no fuel slip, no physical signature, delivery note, but it's paperless reporting and acknowledgement. Obviously, it's important that it's a regulatory thing that no physical signature is necessary. So you need to have that regulatory framework that allows that, and that makes it easier for our staff as well. And as I said before, it's also a safety thing to be in and around the truck at all times. Mm-hmm. Oh, and one important thing to mention also, I said earlier that you get minimum fuel, so you start the fueling process and then final block fuel comes in. And we have a light at our trucks that notifies the fueler that is outside the truck that something's going on the tablet inside, so that he knows, for example, block fuel is there.
Okay. Well, Lara, thank you very, very much for those insights. And I think you made it pretty clear that such an electronic fueling system is not only beneficiary for the airline, but also very much for the interplane agent, the fueling companies, and everybody's who actually puts the fuel into the plane. So then the whole network can basically benefit from such a system in multiple ways.
Yes.
Thank you very, very much for your time, and thanks for doing that one a little bit earlier than you probably expected.
No worries. Thank you for inviting us, and yeah.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.